Phew. Bro, that was the funniest thing I've ever had to do, comma. But this should do it, period. It sounds like I'm pooping, but put it in there. Alright guys, good morning. It is bright and early. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning right now, and I've been working on editing my video. What you just saw there was me making a... Check it out actually. So what that is a recording. So hopefully I will have my guy. So I sent my recording to my graphic designer right now and my video editor. It's pretty much one of the guys that we have on our team, and he's going to make an awesome graphic. But sometimes you gotta make weird noises for, you know, the videos to come out great. So now that we have done with that, let's talk protocol. And this one time, like, and then afterwards, she like came up right up to me. She was like, "It's so. Do you got two? do you got two? You get it? You don't get it? You don't get it? You really don't get it? Cause you know the whole story. At the end, she was like, You got two. You don't get it. There's got to be something in here. You want to try? All right, guys. So as you can see, Christina is not here and I'm freaking bored. There's nothing to freaking do. That's when you know you don't have a life, is when your fiance is gone and you're talking to yourself, opening up the fridge a million times, even doing salsa with your dog. So, alright, so I know that was a funny little clip. But I'm gonna go to the pool and then we're gonna talk about the protocol that I use to compete with. You guys ready? Let's go. Oh man. Alright guys, what's going on? Thank you so much for joining again. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining. I can't reach the floor, so we're gonna have to go to another spot. I thought this was gonna be a better shot, but it's not. Let's do this again. Alright. Okay, what's going on guys? If you guys can, please hit that subscribe button, helps out a lot. It takes 2 seconds. When you subscribe to the channel, it allows my videos to go deeper into the algorithm. Especially if you guys like the video, it helps out tremendously. It takes 2 seconds. If you can, before I get into my protocol, my gear, if you will, please like the video. Leave a comment below on if you've ever done any type of steroids, gear, therapy, whatever it is that you want to call it. So before I get into this video, I do have to state that this is my opinion. I am not a doctor. I am not a medical doctor. This is just my informative opinion. And you should not do what I do. So that's a legal disclaimer. I want to make sure that whoever is watching this can't sue me for telling people to take this stuff or for encouraging. One, I want to say that I also don't condone it, nor am I against it. I simply lead myself into the knowledge that I know, into the protocol that I want to take. Okay, next thing that I want to say is I do have medical professionals behind me. For example, I have 2 doctors that watch me. I have my nephrologist, and I have my primary care doctor as well, who is very familiarized with what I'm doing and also the hormone protocol that I'm taking. So here is a list of things that I take. So right now I am competing. I'm about 15 weeks out. As you saw in my last video, that's what I'm starting at. Christina and I both are competing on November 9th, which is really cool to do with her. But let's get right on into the protocol. 15 weeks out right now. So what I will do is I will take a cycle right now, and I will take that up into the show. And then once the show is done, I come off of the stuff. I do a regular TRT, which I lower my dosage for like a normal human. And then I'll do that for about 8 to 10 months before I start to do it again. So again, I don't stay on this stuff full year, like the entire year, which is really, really bad for your endocrine system. So let's get into what I take. Right now, 15 weeks out, I do supplement very little. Right now I am taking EQ, which is going to help me with my strength. I don't like DECA because it aromatizes very easily, and it has a lot of estrogens that comes with it, so I don't usually mix it with DECA. So I just take EQ for now. Equipoise is what the street name for it is. I'll take just 1 cc a week from that. I'm only at 0.5 cc's on Monday, 0.5 on Thursday, so 1 cc, and I won't raise it past that. On top of that, I'll have my test. Right now we're doing a test E, which is an enanthate, which there's 3 types of testosterones. There's many, but the ones we're gonna talk about is a long ester, which means that it lasts anywhere between 10 to about 15, 16 days into your system. Then there's a medium chain ester, which is typically something called cypionate, and that'll last anywhere between 5 to about 8 days inside of you. And then there's a quick acting ester, which is a short ester, and it's pretty much in and out. It takes about 8 to 9 hours to peak into your system, and then it's out. That one's called propionate. But right now we are doing a longer ester. That is so annoying. Do you guys hear that slurping noise? Anyways, so we are doing right now a long ester. So I'm only doing 1 cc a week from that, 0.5 on Monday, 0.5 on Thursday. Again, I don't take very much. I take maybe about, I want to say about 1 gram, which I know some pros that take 5 grams a week, you know, so I'm not really trying to get that big nor ripped. I just do this to compete. I'm at an amateur level, so I'm not going to put my body through what pros put them through. So that's my testosterone. I also do take just 25 milligrams of Anavar, and up until the show, we get closer to the show, we'll take about 50 to 60 milligrams. Anavar is a drug called oxylandrone. This is a drug that females can take. Females do take it, actually. It's one of the safest steroids that there are around, anabolics that there are. I'm a big fan of it, and because I only have 1 kidney, I do run very low dosages of orals, and I also get off of orals quickly. So we'll run this about 4 weeks on. I'll take about 4 weeks off, and then right up into the show, I'll start taking it again. And after all that, there is a couple more things that I'm taking. I take also HCG, which allows HCG. There's mixed studies on this. When you are on testosterone, your body is shutting down its own production of testosterone. What that means is pretty much that when you're taking steroids, your body stops producing it. So your nuts atrophy, and then they stop working because you're already taking it in. So what this compound does is it's called HCG. This compound allows you to start to produce your own testosterone. Pretty much it improves your own LH, which is the testosterone that you're producing, and it pretty much keeps you at the baseline of, you know, having balls and having a normal functioning endocrine system. I'm not a big fan of shutting your testicles out because turning them back on, turning them on, turning them off, turning them back on is, I think, logically doesn't make sense to me. Again, there's endos out there that agree with both sides of the street. I take it just to be sure. It is an extra expense that you have to purchase. So I'm taking about 0.125. It's IUs, so it's not an actual CC, it's an insulin needle. So I take that as well throughout my prep. And then on top of all this, there's something called anastrozole, which is the street name for it is called Arimidex. What Arimidex does is when you synthetically put testosterone into your body has it runs the risk of converting it into estrogen. This process is called aromatase. So when you're taking an AI, aromatase inhibitor, it stops that conversion from happening. However, it's not 100%, but it does do enough it does stop it enough to actually not produce something called gynecomastia, which is an elevated version of estrogen into your right underneath the urola of your nipple. So I take that for precautionary reasons. The last thing that I take is I do take HGH, human growth hormone. There are many different kinds of human growth hormone. Right now I am on Serostim. Serostim is HGH. The reason why I go with that one is it is the most expensive one. Typically you'll pay about $600 to $900, depends on where you're getting it from or who you're getting it from. But that's the range that they typically go for. And unfortunately, if you don't have the pockets for it, I don't suggest doing it, because you need to take it long term, anywhere between 9 to 10 months for you to start to see some effects of the HGH working. But I do take it. I take about 3 IUs right now in the morning. That's all I'm taking. Up until the show, I will be running about maximum about 6 IUs. There are bodybuilders out there, again, that I know of personally that I'm coaching. They're taking over 25 IUs. So again, I stay very, very low on all my dosages. I'm not a pro, and so I don't need to run gear like a pro. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I wanted to be honest and transparent about what I take and what I do. I don't want anyone to think that I'm natural and that you can obtain what I have, even though you could surpass me naturally. There's guys that do it. But I don't want to sell myself as a fraud nor a fake. So I do not claim natural, and I want people to try to go as natural as possible. If that's a decision that you make, that decision is upon you. I pray that you will do it correctly and that you do not do bro science. You cannot take different drugs. You cannot take a different array of drugs without knowing what they actually do in your system. So that is what I'm taking right now. Again, it's a very, very low dose. Again, it's not just about your protocol, but it's also about your nutrition. So right now I am doing maintenance right now, and we just added on a little bit of cardio. So again, I'm 15 weeks out. I don't need to go into a deficit just yet. So that is it for today's vlog. Thank you guys so much. I'm really bored and I gotta wait for Christina. So what do I do? I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much. And my next video will be coming out Tuesday. That one is going to be epic and it's going to be awesome. All right, guys, I'll see you guys later. Bye.